Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Saturday morning blast off. Welcome, everybody. So I'm a little tiny bit late. Burned the shit out of my mouth on some tea, so um, my tongue's a little bit on the numb side. Anyway, let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to the news. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, what YouTube does, it takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, if you want to know what I'm beyond next, click that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media. So Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. No tiers set on the Patreon, but very, 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 very close. I'm 16 subscribers away from actually setting up tiers on that Patreon. And also I have the links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page for those of you who want to post stuff and chat amongst yourselves, which obviously I'm the only one that's doing it right now. So, well, there's a few others here and there, but not a lot. All right, let's get down to it, shall we? Move my microphone over here. So, yeah, there we go. What do I got going on? So this is actually some pretty big news. Marvel Comics has dropped Diamond Distributors as their distribution comic, or distributors of their comic, I should say, and they're going over to Penguin Random House. If you remember, about a year ago, DC actually already did this. They went to some weird publisher that I haven't never heard of before. And this is actually a really big deal. So Diamond Distributors have been the comic distributors for the last like 30 years, somewhere like that. They basically had a monopoly on the market, a stranglehold in the market, and they sucked. I mean, they sucked bad. They sucked back when I was a comic store owner, and they suck even harder now. So that's the reason why Marvel and DC have been moving away from them, and other smaller distributors or all other smaller comic companies actually have been doing it as well. You just got the notification that I'm on? Wow. Like I said, yeah, YouTube sucks in that notification department. So, yeah, this is a huge, huge, huge deal that Marvel has dropped Diamond Distributor because, between Marvel and DC, those are the two biggest comics out there, you think combined. And I'm wondering why it took Marvel this long in order to do it. I had to have been with contracts, negotiations, things like that. But yeah. Oh, you just got the notification too. See? And I did it like half an hour ago, so I don't know what's going on with YouTube on that notification thing. Probably when I come on, that's when it does it. So I should just sit here for like a good 5 minutes beforehand and just do that and twiddle my thumbs and then wait till everyone gets the notification. I mean, shit, that's what it seems like. Yeah. It was kind of funny. YouTube actually sent out a questionnaire for me to fill out, and I hammered them pretty hard about, how shitty they are. So, I mean, it's great that they give a platform for people like me to do this kind of stuff, but at the same time, there's certain little things like you fuckers are making money off of advertisements during my videos, and you're not paying anything to me until I hit 1,000 subscribers. That's kind of bullshit. So, I need an intro animation, is what you're saying, Philip. I do have an intro animation, but it usually just ends up going onto the video itself. Yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it. I'd have to rework that intro anyway. I thought about doing that before some of my taped stuff, and looking back on that video, I'm like, it's okay, but I can do better. I can do better. Yeah. So I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that Billy Crudup had quit the Flash movie because of basically timing. on it. He wasn't going to wait around forever for them, and he's no longer playing the Flash's dad, Ezra Miller's dad in the Flash. And now we have 2 weeks later, Ron Livingston is now going to be playing. He's replacing Billy Crudup in that role. Um, I'm just hoping you got the memo on those TPS reports, and he's going to have to work Saturdays as well. He's going to have to come in and work Saturday. I know it's an old joke, but I'm fairly sure Ron's got to be tired of that fucking joke at some point in time. I'm sure every single person who interviews him or that he sees out in the street makes that joke. And sorry, man, you made an iconic movie, and it's one of those things that has lines to it that everyone wants to repeat back and forth, back to you every single time they see you. But yeah, it's a small role, but I'm okay with Ron, playing that role. I'm probably not going to see the movie anyway until it comes out on HBO Max, or yeah, probably until it comes out on HBO Max, most likely, just because I really fucking hate the Ezra Miller version of the Flash. I really do. It's just he's an annoying person. I don't know why, but yeah, it just doesn't do it. Raymond says, complete with talking heads. I can't do anything like that, Raymond, because then anything that has a copyright to it, we can't use, of course, on these things. Shit, I recorded, well, I should say a buddy of mine recorded Daft Punk live at a little tiny bar in San Diego years ago. And I put up the video for that, and that's been getting copyright strikes against it all the time. And it's like, it's something that we videoed while we were there, Anyway, yeah. It's because the music is copyright, and yeah, it's a long story about YouTube and their stuff that they do. So Black Widow is now slated to open on July 9th, both in theaters and on Disney Plus for an extra $30 on Disney Plus. This is something I've been talking about for a while now that I've wanted to have happen, and it's finally fucking happening. I can't be more happy about it because I am not going to go to a theater to go and see this. And I have a theater set up here at home. I'm actually looking at my theater setup as I look over that way. And yeah, I'm just it's so much better to be able to just sit at home and watch this stuff. You can pause it if you want to. You don't have assholes with cell phones talking, texting, whatever during the movie, ruining the experience for you. Yes, it is great to see a movie with a bunch of people in a theater, but at the same time, it's also hell to see a movie with a bunch of people in a theater. Yeah. Stanley Tweedle says, "Can we wait a month until it's free?" I think it's 3 months. Stanley is what they do. It's 3 months. That's what they do with Mulan, but I don't think they're going to do that with Black Widow. Black Widow's too much of a tent pole movie, so I think they're probably gonna wait 6 months and do it that way. But still, for the $30, I believe you end up owning it on Disney Premiere as long as you have a Disney Plus account. So, yeah, that's what that $30 entails. You can watch it as many times as you want, and as long as you have the Disney Plus account, it should be up. That's usually what they end up doing. So, yeah. Philip says, should have released Black Widow on 4th of July weekend. I think there's something else that's sitting there. Raymond, it also is on 4th of July, middle of the week. I think 4th of July is in the middle of the week, if I remember correctly. I think it's on a Wednesday this year. Oops, I just hit the wrong button on my my computer. Good thing I didn't knock myself offline here. So let me see. No, actually, it's on a Sunday. So yeah, I guess they could have done it on the 2nd instead of the 9th, but who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Raymond says, I hate to say it, but how relevant can Black Widow be now that we're into phase 4 of the MCU? I'm fairly sure it's going to be fairly relevant. So we're getting almost a Marvel movie a month at this point. We're gonna have Black Widow in July. Excuse me. I think it's like every other month we're getting a Marvel movie. And I mean, take a look at my own website to see, suspendedfanimation.com, where you can actually see the schedule and also stuff that's coming up in the future. So yeah, Black Widow is coming out on July 9th. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 12 Rings is coming out September 3rd. Eternals comes out on November 5th. And then Spider-Man 3, No Way Home comes out December 17th. So boom, 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 boom. And then I believe Doctor Strange comes out the following year. And yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that's coming out Marvel wise. Stanley Tweedle says, "Isn't July 4th a new COVID Independence Day?" I don't know. I haven't heard that, but I mean, sure, why not? Yeah, you can do it that way, I guess. What else do I have here? So we got the first trailer for James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and it was a red band trailer too. So if you go to Facebook and you go to my page, you'll actually see that trailer is up there, and it's actually a really good trailer. And King Shark was pretty fucking funny. He is kind of on the dumb side, and he basically says one word sentences like yum yum and hand. If that voice sounded familiar to you at all for King Shark, that was Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone is actually voicing King Shark. We finally got an idea of that, of who's actually voicing it. It was up in the air for a little while as to who it was, because James Gunn's been kind of secretive about some of the people who the actors are playing. There's a lot of actors in this movie, and it just looks like a lot of fucking fun. Yeah. Um, Hey, Feisty. What's going on? Yeah, we won't be back to the new normal won't be back to that until 2022. I agree with you. Yes. There's no and for here in the United States, it won't be until 2025, considering that every fucking time, there's a little bit of a dip in the numbers, everyone goes down and goes, party, woo, spring break. And then of course there's a fucking spike again. And yeah. So yeah. Hey, Salty, what's going on? You get your first shot on Monday? Yeah. Nice. I'm getting my second one in what time is it? Literally, what time is it? Because I'm getting mine in a little bit here too, my second shot. So, and Pfizer is what I'm going with. And hopefully I don't have any, bad reactions to it. I didn't have any bad reactions to the first one. I just had a sore, injection site. That was it. But other than that, yeah. Oh, you did, Feisty? I'm sorry. Yeah, I heard the Moderna one is a little bit rougher than the Pfizer one. Yeah, just a little bit, not a lot. But yeah. So speaking of actually really damn good casting, Pierce Brosnan is going to be playing Dr. Fate in the Black Adam movie opposite Dwayne Johnson, and I was like, my ass is in that. I'm going to be paying for a ticket for that one or whatever it is. Yeah, fucking Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. Can you believe that? That is, and I said this before, that everyone, their mother was going to be in a comic book movie at some point in time. And yeah, obviously Pierce Brosnan, he's in his 60s now, something like that. Yeah, I'm going to be definitely seeing it too. Yeah. Oh, you have the AstraZeneca one. Is that what you're taking, Stanley? I've heard good and bad. I mean, the only thing about the AstraZeneca one is if you have a predisposition to blood clotting, that's the only thing that's bad about it. But other than that, it should be fine. That's what I've been reading. There we go. Oh, that's much better. That tea is at a good temperature where either that or the tip of my tongue is very numb at the moment. So that could be it because I burned it earlier on the tea. So yeah. Keanu Reeves, he created a little comic book called Berserker. That's Brzrkr, all in caps. And he's going to be starring in the movie and also voicing the anime adaptation of that comic for Netflix. So that's right, Netflix is going to be doing that for him. And yeah, I mean, I already subscribed to Netflix, so sure, what the hell? I mean, if both the movie and the anime are going to be on Netflix, I'll watch it. Keanu Reeves is uh, he's grown as an actor. He really has. I mean, I remember back in the day, we all used to talk shit about Keanu Reeves because of, well, of course, he was in Bill and Ted, and then he was doing like stuff like Parenthood and My Own Private Idaho and things like that, and Bram Stoker's Dracula, and you could still see the Ted in him, kind of when he was doing that. And I don't think it was until he did Speed where he was kind of starting to scrub out the Ted out of his performances. And now we look forward to him actually doing that kind of stuff. I mean, he's going to be in John Wick 4 and 5 as well, which I heard that Derek Kolstad, who created the character and wrote it, isn't writing the script or isn't going to be involved with the scripts for 4 and 5, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, I kind of want the creator of that movie to be involved in these, but all right, yeah, as long as we get, I like the John Wick universe, and I know we're getting more of this also with the Continental. I haven't heard any news, by the way, on the Continental TV series, which I believe is supposed to be Hulu. It's either Hulu or Netflix. I don't know what it is. And I was kind of hoping that, we would see something by now, but we're not. Stanley said the Suns and Superman and Lois still look a little like Bill and Ted to you. I, I can see that. I can see that, Stanley. I like Superman and Lois, by the way. It's actually not a bad show. You know, it's really not a bad CW show. I have to admit. Speaking of which, I've also been watching Debris, which is on NBC, which means it only gets one season because it's sci-fi on NBC, and it should be dying. And also, it's created by J.H. Wyman, I believe is his name. He's the guy who created Almost Human, the one with Carl Urban, the really good show that got killed on Fox because they moved around everywhere. And so I watched the first episode and I saw it was created by him, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. It's actually not bad. It's fairly decent. Um, it's kind of like Almost Human, where it kind of needed to just get a couple episodes in, and then you're like, okay, I understand this world now. Um, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying Debris as well. Not enough to cover it, mind you, but I'm enjoying it on my off time, like my leisure viewing, I guess you could say. Yeah. It sounded like a super generic X-Files Fringe kind of thing, Stanley, but it's not. It's there's political intrigue, and there's also, you get this sense of a race going on around the world of everyone trying to find parts. All the governments trying to find parts because they're trying to build something. We don't know what the building of it is. Excuse me. And that they are also for lack of a better term, it looks like they're all racing towards something that they already know exists, and no one else knows about this. Yeah. Hey, Dante S. How's it going? Yeah. So it's a decent show. It really is. The clone episode just fucking, oh man, that was actually creepy, and it brought up so many questions too, which they haven't answered yet. Yeah, but we'll see. What We Do in the Shadows is getting a spin-off series called Wellington Paranormal, and that's actually going to be heading to both the CW and HBO Max. They're going to be sharing payment, I guess you could say, or funding of Wellington Paranormal. And of course, this is supposed to be about a couple of police officers that end up investigating paranormal activities. It's a comedy, of course. And, Taika Waititi is in there along with Jermaine. Fuck, I can't remember his name now. I know it's Jermaine. His last name's Jermaine. He was in Legion. Um, Fuck, I can't remember. Flight of the Conchords. He's the lead singer. Flight of the Conchords. Anyway, uh, yes, Wellington Paranormal is actually coming to CW, and aren't they already on season 2 of this of Wellington Paranormal? Not that I know of, Silver. From what I understand, it's just coming out. Oh, really? Okay. I did not know that. So there you go. That's what happens when we live in a we don't get all the same TV shows around here. So yeah, it's coming to the CW and to HBO Max. There you go. All right. Is it any good? That's what I want to say. Is the first season any good? Because the thing I was getting off of the vibe I was getting off of it was going to be like that Nick Frost, you know, Ghost Hunters or whatever thing that was. Okay, the one that got canceled that was on Amazon Prime. Because that was just, not as strong as okay. That's what I figured. I figured it wasn't going to be as strong as What We Do in the Shadows. What We Do in the Shadows is just, it's funny. I mean, it's not something I would pay for, to tell you the truth. And but if I can catch it for free someplace here and there, I'll watch it. The guest stars are pretty much what make it for me, especially like Mark Hamill coming in and playing a vampire. That was actually pretty fucking funny. Oh, okay. So it's the Kiwi cringe humor. Yeah, I don't like that stuff, honestly. So I know it's not gonna be for me. So Michael Keaton, in an interview that he was given, said he might not be in the Flash movie after all. He's just really fucking busy, is really what's going on. And also, he's got a lot of COVID concerns right now. And so those are factors that are getting in the way of things. And he's saying, he goes, I don't know. He goes, I don't know if I'm going to be involved in that yet or not, because there's so much stuff coming up, and it's taking too long in order to get that movie moving. So he doesn't know where he stands on it, and most likely might not be in it, which I know a lot of people are going to be upset about. Me, not so much. Don't get me wrong. I like Michael Keaton. I wasn't the biggest fan of his Batman. I know. Yes, I know. Just because the big rubber suit. That's all. Yeah. It was what we had at the time, but still. Yeah. Yeah, Silver, that's the other thing too. You can see him thinking it out in the interview, because I mean, it's the interviews on I want to say it's on Deadline is where it's at. And it's really kind of fun. Actually, I can tell you where it's at because I have the link to it. Duh. Yeah, it's on Deadline. And he is thinking it out almost like in real time when he's talking to the interviewer. And he's because the interviewer says something like, that's kind of a gutsy move to do Batman after 30 some odd years of playing the character. He goes, is it? He goes, now you're talking me out of it, is what he says. And then he starts overthinking it, and you can see him just kind of yeah. Stanley says, I like the Burton tone of the movie, of the movies all the time, at the time. Yeah, at the time, like I said, it was what we had, and I dug at the animated series actually kind of played off of that and did it better. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get hate mail. So yeah, I think the animated series actually did Burton better than Burton does Burton. There, I said it. But then again, I'm a huge fan of the animated series. The animated series is the best Batman stuff out there. It really is. And so is Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond's fucking awesome. Ah, so the Hawkeye series hasn't even come out yet, and it's already getting a spin-off series. Yeah. So Echo is going to be the spin-off series on Disney Plus, and Echo is about a deaf Native American assassin, if you will, and she is going to get her own series on Disney Plus. Um, I don't know that much about the character, to tell you the truth. So Alakwa Cox is the one who's playing her in the Hawkeye series, and so she, of course, is going to go over to her own series. And I'm trying to see here what it says. So Echo, whose real name is Maya Lopez, has the ability to perfectly copy another person's movements or fighting style. So this sounds like Taskmaster quite a bit, making her a formidable opponent in battle. In the Marvel comics, Echo crosses paths with characters like Daredevil, Moon Knight. Yeah, okay. So that's pretty much what it is. So yeah. Silver says I doubt I'll be bothering with that. I'll watch it because I mean, pretty much anything that Marvel puts out now, movie wise and TV show wise, now on Disney Plus is fucking good, and a lot of it actually appeals to those of us who have read the comics and things like that by sneaking stuff in, especially the Falcon and Winter Soldier that just the episode that dropped yesterday was fucking phenomenal just because of some of the stuff that they dropped. And if you want to know what that is, I have it up on my site here, on my YouTube page. Just go back and take a look at it and I talk about it. So if you haven't seen the episode, go and watch it and then go and take a look at that video and I talk about it at length. Stanley says Willy Wonka and Alice were still far in the future back then. Silver says, but how long will they last if they keep churning out stuff? They've got 60 years worth of material to pull from, Silver. So I think they're going to be okay. They have only scratched a small amount of surface of storylines. There are so many, many, many stories in the Marvel universe that yeah, you could do easily 80, 90 years worth of movies and still have stuff available for them to do, just because of how long it takes to do movies and all that. So yeah. It's just a matter of, are people going to tire of it? I'm not so far because I'm actually liking. So they're changing stuff up too. Like the blip never happened in the comics. So what happened at the end of Endgame, with everyone coming back after the snap and having a 5-year difference, and then having all these people, that never happened in the comics before. So that's something different. You're adding stuff to other storylines that happen in the Marvel universe, and that's exciting. Actually, that actually is, and now they're exploring that, what the consequences are of bringing back like 3.5 billion people. Yeah. Silver says, yeah, but they got a big enough stable of quality writers, though. I think they do. Yeah. Silver says, look at DC. In my opinion, a lot of what they produced show wise was poor. Yes, it is. That is because Warner Brothers never put in one guiding hand, I guess you could say, over the entire mess of stuff. Whereas Marvel has Kevin Feige. Once they lose Kevin Feige, if they don't put somebody else in that kind of position again, then yes, Marvel will be crap. But for now, they're actually good because they're under one vision. if DC was or Warner Brothers was actually to do that with the DC movies, you would see a completely different turnaround, and it would have to be somebody who actually cares about that stuff too. Um, I would say Bruce Timm, but I know he doesn't want to do anything like that, and also he's on the older side now, so I think he's more towards retirement at this point. Um, Jeff Johns had his crack at it and burned out on it, and so he's not going to do it. Of course, you're going to need to find somebody who's okay with that executive position and can is a fanboy of the DC stuff and is willing to basically just be harsh and go, fuck you, you're not doing that. You're not doing a murderverse. You're not having Superman murder everybody. You're not going to have Batman be this, death machine, anything like that. You know, you're going to need somebody like that can just actually rein in these directors and go, fuck you. This is what you're going to do. This is what we want the character to be. Do it this way or leave. Stanley says, I like Invincible a great deal more than Falcon and Winter Soldier. Really? I'm actually really digging Falcon and Winter Soldier. I like Invincible as well. Invincible is really fucking cool, but yeah, I'm digging Falcon and Winter Soldier right now. But then again, Falcon and Winter Soldier are actually doing. You want the Murderverse, Dante S? I know you're not the only one. And thank you for going into my segue here. That was actually my next thing I was going to talk about. So the head of Warner Media and Sarnoff says there are no plans to do more movies in the Snyder Murderverse, and that the DCEU is headed in a different direction entirely. Quote, end quote. She didn't say Snyder Murderverse, but she said the Snyderverse. I use Snyder Murderverse. Yeah, she said it was great that he was able to finish out his trilogy. We wish him well, and don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, is what she basically said to him. And yeah. But yeah, Ann Sarnoff, head of DC, of Warner Media, has already said that nope, Snyder's out the door. They are heading in a different direction with their movies. And there you go. And no matter, I know people are going to be clamoring for that restore the Snyderverse and all that kind of stuff. And I am not one of them. We'll see how well the movie does when it gets a theatrical release. I believe it's next week is what happens. And then you'll see what will happen there. You'll see if it's actually just people rewatching it over and over and over again on HBO Max, or if there are actual butts in the seats that are going to be paying for that. Yeah. Stanley says, I'm a little meh about Falcon and Winter Soldier, but the positive side of meh. Okay. Stanley says, so the Snyderverse has been cut. Yes, it is. It's kind of like, how should I say, when Wonder Woman cut off Steppenwolf's head as he was heading towards the portal. Yes. Was that a spoiler? The movie's been out for fucking 3 years, man. We know this already. Silver says, thank God, I can't wait to see the back of him. Yeah, I know. Me too. He should just go back to ripping off George Romero. I mean, making fantastic zombie movies. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like 300, but 300 was already storyboarded for him. He really didn't have to do much work on that one. Other than the slow motion thing, which is way fucking overused now. I mean, dude, that was early 2000s. Move on to something else. We don't want to see any more slow motion scenes. Unless you're going to do John Woo at that point and have some doves also fly out behind them in slow motion. See what I did there? I called him ancient and also biting somebody else's shit. So there we go. He's obsessed with gods and slow-mo. I know. He really is. Speaking of gods, George R.R. Martin has signed a 5-year, 8-figure deal to produce content solely for HBO. I think HBO is being a little optimistic at thinking that, you know, George R. Martin's going to be able to produce anything in 5 years. Well, you know what I mean. He's kind of slow on the writing stuff. You get me? Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Good luck with that. I hope. Yeah. San Antonio said, just rewatch parts of 300. It's so problematic, but I never liked it anyway. Um, Stanley, so it's, and I've said this before, it's a story told around a campfire by a soldier to other groups of soldiers to basically portray your enemy as less than human, is really what it is. And that's the way the book has always been. I have the book someplace around here too. That's the way the movie is, and that's actually what the movie gets right, is that it plays exactly like the book. And a lot of people miss that whole point of it being, a tale told the night before a battle to other soldiers to dehumanize your enemy so you can go out and fucking kill them. That's really what it is. And also enrage you about your enemy that you're going out to go and kill. Yeah. Cheryl Lara says GRRM is suffering from writer's block. I can see that, Cheryl. Yeah. That's why I'm saying it's a little bit optimistic on HBO side to think that he's going to be pumping out any kind of content in the next 5 years. Yeah. Stanley Twiddle says, but it fits perfectly into Miller's. Yeah, Miller is a nutcase. Plain and simple. Frank Miller, he is a fucking nutcase. He really is. And I can't read any of his stuff. Any of his new stuff. I can go back and look at his old stuff and go, what the fuck happened? And I want to say dementia's involved, but I can't be sure. It smacks of it. It really does. If you look at his new stuff and you're just like, what the fuck? And you compare it to stuff from like the 80s and 90s, and you're just like, dude, what the hell happened to you? He's still a fantastic artist, though. He actually draws and all that stuff too. I still want to see Ronin get made into a movie. I think Ronin would be a awesome, or a series, something like that. I mean, series would be better, but a movie would be fucking awesome as well. The goddamn Batman. Exactly. Yeah, I just rewatched, what was it? They have the whole Batman the animated series on HBO Max. So I watched The Legends of the Dark Knight is what it's called. And it's a couple of stories told by kids about who Batman is. And one of them is the Legends, the Dark Knight Returns. And it's pretty funny. It's actually really funny. They did a good job of kind of making that over into the animated world. There is also the one that's voiced by by Peter Weller, that they did the Batman Returns, Dark Knight Returns, excuse me, movie, and that's actually really well done as well. So, and if you look in the Snyderverse, the recut one that he just did, the Snyder cut, it's a blink and you miss it scene, but Batman is standing on top of the big gigantic tank that's in the Dark Knight Returns, the one that he fights the mutants on. There's an overhead shot of him standing on top of the tank. I think it's in the epilogue at one point, or maybe it's just before the epilogue. I can't remember when. And I was like, huh. So he decided to put that in. All right, that's great. It's just kind of a flyover shot when he's on comms with somebody. I can't remember who, but yeah. It was kind of one of those funny things that I saw, just dismissed immediately. Hulu has ordered 8 episodes of something called Koala Man from Roland's production company. So Roland, of course, being from Rick and Morty, and of course Solar Opposites. He's the one who's created Solar Opposites. So yeah, there's this thing called Koala Man that is from Michael Cusick, Dan Hernandez, Benji Samit, and Justin Roland. And yeah, it's about a guy who doesn't have any superpowers, but it's animated too, by the way. So it follows a family patriarch who lives a not so secret identity as the titular superhero who possesses a burning passion to snuff out petty crime and bring order to the community. So there you go. I don't know. I don't have Hulu anymore, and I have no desire to actually get Hulu. Although the Hit Monkey animated series from Marvel is kind of putting me on the fence about that. I might do the trial to just kind of watch Hit Monkey. Modoc, not so much. The stop animation Modoc one is looking pretty bad. But and yeah, Koala Man is not going to be dragging my ass to that to Hulu. That's for sure. And the final thing I've got here is a direct sequel to The Last Starfighter called The Last Starfighters. They dropped a sizzle reel of the concept art in the hopes of getting this made into a movie. So it's the original writer for Last Starfighter. He actually still owned a piece of the rights to it. That's the reason why a sequel never got made, because they can't make one without him involved, of course, at this point. And he and excuse me, I just blanked on who it was. I'm actually looking at it. Gary Whitta, who of course wrote the Book of Eli and Rogue One. They're both working on it at this point. And yeah, so I watched it, and it's pretty pictures. I kind of got an idea of what the story is, but I'm not really digging it. It's also 30 years later. I don't know if I want a direct sequel to The Last Starfighter. The Last Starfighter was kind of perfect in its own way. It's a little cult movie, and I really don't want to see anything happen to it. Stanley says maybe they'll get it on the Disney Plus Star Channel. We don't have the Star Channel here in the States, Stanley. So we have Disney Plus, but we don't have Disney Plus Star. I don't know. Not really a big fan of it. I would rather just let it go as it is and, you know, do something else. Thanks, Stanley. Yeah. Well, at least you got your Outlander for next season. Oh yeah, and you can also watch all your Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. That's on Disney Plus, isn't it? I think they should do a sequel to Jaws. Why not do another sequel to The Godfather? And while we're at it, The Wild Bunch. We can go back and do a sequel to Ben-Hur. Right? They can do a digital recreation of Charlton Heston, right? Digital recreation of Edward G. Robinson. Yeah. Any news on Doom Patrol? I know they're filming, Cheryl. That's all I know. That the last thing I heard was that they'd hired I actually said something about it a couple weeks ago. I can't remember the name. Madam basically the woman who's on the adventures of the chilling adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the one who played Eve. She is now been cast on Doom Patrol season 3, and they're filming. I know that much. That's all I know. I don't have a release date, anything like that. Every time I see something that says, "Oh, release date news on Doom Patrol," it's all bullshit. They just basically reiterate all the same shit that everyone else knows, and they do it for the clicks. Pisses me off to no end. Really, it does. Clickbait is really what it is. All right. Well, I got about 2 hours before I go and get jabbed with a needle. So I'm going to let you guys go for the day. Thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, what YouTube does takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you, as people have attested to here. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I'm pretty close to my times most of the time. Today I was about half an hour late. But I also have links to my social media on there, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. No tier sip on the Patreon. And also I have the links to my YouTube channel here, my Facebook page. And for those of you who sell Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. Thanks, Stanley. Yes, I will hopefully not have any reactions, knock on wood, all that stuff. Oh, I just had something. Oh, my Alexa all of a sudden just popped up when I said that. So that was kind of funny. I have a Fire TV Cube, and I didn't realize it could hear me from here. That's kind of freaky because I didn't activate that either. Well, thank you, everybody. I will see you again. Oh, what do I have going on? Duh, brain fart. What do I have going on the rest of the week? Tomorrow, I'll be covering Invincible episodes 1, 2, and 3, and I'm still on the fence about. I think I'm going to do all 3 of them together instead of separating them out. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do all 3 together. Monday, I'm going to be off. Tuesday, opening another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I might cover Debris. I don't know. Still kind of thinking about it. Wednesday, I'll be off. Thursday will be the season finale of Resident Alien. Friday will be The Falcon and Winter Soldier. And Saturday, we'll go back around again to Saturday Morning Blast Off, or take the genre news of the week and any other genre stuff you guys want to talk about. Stanley says, let's hope I'll survive mine. You'll do okay, man. Yeah, I'll let you know how I do. You could always take a look over on Facebook page there. That's where I usually post most of my news for what's going on, especially if I'm going to be late or if I have to cancel Saturday Morning Blast Off. I know some of you don't have Facebook. Maybe I'll just post it up on Twitter is what I'll do, and do it that way, since that seems to be the place where everyone gets their news from anyway. All right. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow for Invincible. Until then, stay safe. Until then, I should say, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up being involved in a 30-year-old sequel to a 30-year-old movie, which no one really wants. So yeah, not a good thing. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care. Remember to wear those masks, get those vaccines if you can get an appointment, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your weekend or rest of your day, and I'll see you then. Bye.